Hello, this is Robert from DSP Plug. I've been really enjoying the way that digital signal processing um, becomes clear to you all. I think that it's kind of taken the second tier, versus tier three, in the way of industry and in the way of fabrication. But nonetheless, it is tier three. It always will be. And here is probably one of my last meaningful contributions toward this really great Stargate project. It's merely a benchmark. It's it could all work, and most of it is kind of simple, but doing the math and what have you. But ultimately, there's really not much more to add. Everything has practically been taken care of. But I will say this, that digital signal processing ultimately does not require AI. And that's why it's so great for industry. Digital signal processing can replace gears and many things that create waste, our physical matter, and can practically do anything that AI can. And that is the point, that I look really forward to a future where kids can like the fact that they're really well educated. I would have loved in my lifetime to have learned math in a different way than I did. I'm not saying it was wrong, because I did learn a heck of a lot of math, but I kind of got pushed on it. I didn't have anything else to do, so that's what I did. But it's the most exciting thing in the world. Math is the most exciting thing in the world. And to be honest, it's quite sad. It's sad when you see things like grocery stores shutting down, banks sometimes having issues too, like in 2009. It's bad. More on that in just a minute. I guess I've never really seen myself so much as a nerd. I don't really feel like I'm a nerdy guy. Pretty calm, normal guy. It's pretty damn rare that I would talk to you about math. It's not really something I think about, but what I don't like is that digital signal processing takes, the back door. When everyone's talking, they keep talking about AI. But ultimately, what about the math? It's going to be math and the quality and the education of our students that's going to decide just how well digital signal processing really works. There are going to be times when maybe we'll have better computer systems, possibly like the ones that I've suggested. And if we have those, we can belie some of the current limitations. Actually, my father and a renowned mathematician, he mentioned to me fast Fourier transform. And while I like fast Fourier transform, it digital signal processing plugins, in my experience, are only given so many laneways. So what that means is ASM in the process needs to step in to create virtually all of those little connections. And because of that, the amount of memory addressed to it is not always substantial enough, and neither is the processor power. Fast Fourier transform requires many data points. And because of those thousands sometimes of data points, it can fall behind. Ultimately, something like, let's say, a dynamic matrices or um, a cascade can be something that can do the same thing, but in a linear way. Could technically a fast Fourier transform do a better job? It might, but it all comes down to processor power, processor capability. Now, I've talked about things with digital signal processing that are pretty exciting. Things like replacing engines, things like getting rid of waste, things like moving us around in cars and avoiding crashes. That's exciting. Maybe even a kind of walkway through space, maybe to get to the moon. That's really exciting. But what also I guess I should have considered was what about our existing technologies in the air and even boats, perhaps? With these similar impulse technologies, I'm pretty sure that they've proven that a similar technology for a plane using impulse, electromagnetic impulse, can also keep it aloft. Why are we spending so many millions of dollars on plane engines that constantly need to be replaced? How many times are we going to be watching the news and hearing about 400, 200 people being killed in a plane crash when it's entirely avoidable? Undoubtedly, in my opinion, electromagnetic impulse may be fastened just inside the wing and a little bit on the hull so as to create a means to deflect from the impulse. In my opinion, yeah, I think that could keep it aloft without a doubt. And though maybe it's something that might have been done already because it's such a simple idea, that to me would make me feel a lot better too. These pivots, safety, being able to go anywhere. Hey, maybe it'll be cheaper. That would be a wonderful thing. I didn't want DSP to take a back seat. And furthermore, when I look at pricing models, and then when I look at the seeming lack of linear algebra and or calculus being utilized for pricing models, furthermore, expectations of price and prediction models of sales, it's saddening. It's saddening because I'm watching the market change and fluctuate after this kind of transition between us all being stuck in our houses and prices rising. Because of this, and because we've all experienced this together, it's all we can do just to try and spend less money, go less distance. But imagine in the future if it was a safer place. The only other thing I can think of to make it easier on us and to allow our groceries to flow, I guess, is just to try and reduce the cost of living. And that's ultimately what this idea using garbage could possibly do. Might take a few years to get right and to work out all of those kinks, but ultimately, something that is polarized is ultimately magnetized. plastic, paper, wood, all of it can be magnetized, polarized, if you will. And that means it can be controlled with electromagnetism to some degree. Everything can be pulled apart. Everything can be pushed through water if it needs to go through water. Everything can be melted with electromagnetism and these simple little controller and drone things. Really exciting. Really exciting. And I know that myself, I can't imagine a more exciting feeling than to kind of relive the days of old where there's bustling universities, where there's schools of academia, where there is rowdy groups of people all demanding that their theory be heard, that their calculation is more effective. I can't imagine plainly a more exciting time for me. Maybe I'm kind of a purist, I don't know, but to me, that would be a genius. We see less and less of that these days. And to be honest, after we've all been stuck in our houses, maybe it's like we've all been kind of withdrawn. But though I'm not really with the whole science fiction utopia idea, I'm not so sure a utopia will really ever exist. Things are always going to practically run on something like money, anyways. But it's the excitement. It's the pursuit of an amazing career that excites me the most. And I imagine that teaching would be a very exciting thing. Seeing the ability of students, the ability to do a great deal with mathematics. Just, I don't know if I'm really the smartest guy, but maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I'll have one student one day if I ever become a teacher in the future when I'm older. Wouldn't that be something? If I had a student to change the world somehow. Everything I've been touting are merely ideas, glimpses into what is possible. Hard to say whether they can be improved or not just because it's such a simple idea, but it likely can be. This is Robert from DSP Plug, thanking you all for watching the Stargate project unfold. And it is exciting. Something like this could change our world, reduce pollution, could make the air so much nicer. I love that. I love that. I love the idea of completely clean water, clean beaches, where even the beaches are free of decayed matter. All of that bad stuff gone forever. Animals everywhere, plenty of nice things to see. Nothing's going to happen in one end of the day, is it? But boy, it's nice to know what could happen. Bye bye.